Right then, welcome back. We're doing some maintenance today. Got an open plan office area down here. As you can see, it's all pretty deserted. We haven't been here since the whole sort of COVID pandemic. So they've got some individual controllers. There is an old Sanyo one in the kitchen here which does this unit, and if we have a look on the display, you will see that warning triangle there. So if you know about these Sanyo systems, you'll know what that warning triangle is. It usually indicates that the unit's in a backup mode. It's in a backup mode usually because there's something wrong with the inverter circuit, with the inverter compressor on one of the units. It usually shuts it off and runs it in a backup mode. We'll find out exactly what fault that is. I think it can only be two. When that warning triangle comes up, I think off the top of my head P16 is one of them. But yeah, we're going to have a look. It'll be quite a good one. We'll have a look at the outdoors. Might do a bit of fault finding on the two inverter compressors, because we've got two units twinned up on this one. So yeah, let's kind of look outside, see what we can see. There we are, two Sanyo three-way multis, so they're both running. Obviously one's in backup, so I'm going to take the covers off. We'll have a look. I'll probably hook up a controller as well. Got the grab bag hooked up, which you all know about, but I've got a feeling I'm probably going to need a bit more than this today, so we'll get the covers off anyway and have a look. Right, that's the first cover off. So just got this meter. We're just going to quickly just see if this inverter compressor's running. So you'll see there, look, that's not running. So I think it's safe to say, so if we look at our fixed speed compressor, you'll see that that's running. So this is the one that's going to be in backup mode. I think what I'm going to do is just plug the outdoor controller in here and we'll just retrieve the last fault code, but I imagine it's probably going to be probably gone out on an overcurrent or something. So that's the Hvac inverter board on these. So there's a few checks we can do on that, as well as obviously check the windings on that compressor, make sure it's not down to earth. So this is the one that should be running. So again, we'll get this, I'll just show you. This one here is the inverter compressor. So if I can get the meter around there. So there you go, look, 10.5, 10.6, 10.8. So we know the inverter compressor is running on this one, so we'll do some more checks on this one. Power's off. We got this electrical box sort of unscrewed and dropped down there just so I can get access to these two compressors. That's the fixed speed or direct online compressor. That one there, that's the inverter compressor. So wow, look at that. Someone's left their brazing rod hanging off that one. I'm gonna undo that terminal cover there, and we'll just check this compressor's not down to earth. Just check the windings are okay. Right then, the Unilight bag's out on this one. So I've showed you this before. In the back of this bag, more of a testing setup. So that there, that is my insulation resistance meter. I need to undo the buckle. So we'll use this and we'll check the windings of the compressor first. Well, as you just saw, the windings check out okay, so nothing's down to earth. All the insulation resistance seems good, so it looks like it's okay electrically in the compressor, but What we'll do, we'll just do a few checks on that HIC board, inverter board, make sure nothing's untoward there. And there's not many tests you can do on these HIC boards, but you can, if you unplug this plug here, so this is HIC plus, this one down here, HIC minus. Get your tester, just on continuity, and then just make sure that it's not a short circuit between your plus and your minus, or your HIC plus and minus. That one's okay. So the only other check really is switch it back on. Obviously you can remove them from the compressor, plug them in an inverter checker, or just check that you're getting an equal voltage between all three phases. So we'll do that and then we'll switch her on. Right then, so we got this Sanyo controller plugged into the outdoor, so we want to have a look for the last fault. So if we go to F0, so there, that's going to show us our last fault code. As I thought, it's a P16. P16, off the top of my head, I think that's just a inverter compressor overcurrent. So on startup, it's exceeding a certain current, so it could mean that compressor's locked. I don't know, that's the only thing you can't check for. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this off, plug everything back in, and we're just going to try it. If it's locked, then we'll put a clamp meter on and we'll have a look. Right then, we got the clamp meter on there, so let's put it on this phase to start with. We'll see what happens when it fires up, see what sort of amps it pulls. I mean, for all I know, it might just fire up and run. Sometimes I've had it with these old Sanyos, if there's a little bit of liquid flood back, obviously that can cause high amps. So these compressors are renowned for being weak on these Sanyos, to be fair. They don't take a lot of abuse, so we'll see, you never know. I've had some weird and wonderful problems with these Sanyos, so we'll wait for it to come on and see what happens.
AngelLaCiencia. Let that shit bang,
Well, it's running. You see there, it's around about 9 amps, 9.5 amps at the moment. I'll flick between these phases and have a little look. If I can do it one-handed. .8. I should have put my meter. I should have set it to manual mode because it missed the sort of starting current while it was trying to decide whether it was AC or DC, but it has fired up and it is running. So what I'm going to do, we're going to monitor it, we're going to leave this on for a bit, and we'll just check. Yeah, we'll just check there's no liquid flooding back to the compressor, check the discharge temperatures. Yeah, quite a strange one. I've had this a few times on these old Sanyos. The 4-way valves in there, really common to go, but I know these have been changed not that long ago, so I'll check them again anyway, but I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. We'll just check the temperatures and pressures, and we'll stay with it for a bit, see if we can see anything. Right then, we're just checking the discharge temperature of the compressor, so 91 on the inverter compressor, the fixed speed compressor, so again 91, so nothing untoward there, because I've got these in heating mode and it's quite a big load, it's quite cold in here, so That looks all right there. We're just going to have a quick run through all the other figures and the operating data and just have a little check. So the inverter compressor on the unit we're looking at, 79. So the fixed speed or direct online is 72. So yeah, they're not over 100 or anything like that, so I'm not sure there's anything to worry about there. If anything, might be a little bit low, so just need to make sure that there isn't any sort of liquid flood back. Right then, checking the crankcase heaters and they're not working, so I think that's going to be the problem. I think this has been off for a long time. They've switched it on, and because the crankcase heaters haven't been on, it's probably a bit of a liquid build up in the compressor. So I thought I'd show you. So it's not pulling any amps. I'll show you now. There's voltage. So that one there, 240, and you'll see 0.3 amps. Now that one there, which is the inverter compressor, no voltage because it's running at the moment, and still 0.3. Basically that means it's not running, it's not pulling any current. I've took them off and felt them, and they're not getting warm, and they should be. So I think that's our problem. The crankcase heaters have failed, so we're going to get a couple of them ordered, and then we've stayed with it for a while and it's been alright, so we'll keep an eye on it, but hopefully that's the problem. Right, I probably didn't explain that last bit very well, but basically when the system had no demand, so it was still on but not running, then both them crankcase heaters will have 240 going to them, and they should obviously be getting warm. Now they both had 240 volts going to them, but neither the inverter compressor or the fixed speed compressor crankcase heater was actually working. So hopefully we're going to get a couple of them ordered. I'm not sure if that was the only fault. Now I checked over all the operating data, so I've checked over the gas and liquid temps coming out of the heat exchangers, the 4-way valves, the expansion valves, or solenoids and stuff. And I had a good look over everything, and we stayed with it for a while we did the maintenance. I couldn't see anything untoward. The only thing I did see, which was in the other unit, was this. So it looks like some sort of blockage in one of the check valves, or it's failing because there's a bit of frosting around there. Other than that, couldn't really see anything. I haven't got the service software for the Sanyo kit. If you don't know, Panasonic have taken over Sanyo, and I used to install loads of this when I first started out, but you can still see loads of stuff on the controllers, which is what I quite like about it, to be fair. You can see loads of temperatures and what's going on around the system just by them sort of standard controllers. So yeah, I think hopefully we can go back, fit some crankcase heaters, and then I'm going to advise them that I spend a little bit longer just monitoring the system, a few more checks. Obviously, like I said, it was part of a maintenance, so you know, you can only spend so long looking at a fault really. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more content. Drop a comment below if you want to see any HVAC or air conditioning work or any tools. Yeah, just drop below what you want to see, and we'll see if we can get it on. Right, take it easy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.